Hey everybody, it's That's Weird Stuff, our show where I give these gentlemen stories of bizarre nature and they get to decide aliens or not. But this time we're gonna shake it up a little, do something a little different. This time I got three urban legends for you guys, and you
Ooh.
guys can decide what you think about them. So let's go to our first urban legends, which is probably the newest one. In 2019, a creepypasta began to spread on 4chan about liminal space called the Backrooms that can only be accessed by no clipping. One of the earliest descriptions of the Backrooms was given by an anonymous user. If you're not careful and you no clip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the Backrooms. There is nothing but the stink of old moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, the endless background noises of fluorescent lights at maximum hum buzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in.
Hobby Lobby.
God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure as hell has heard you.
Pause. Have you been in a Hobby Lobby in a while? It's very
At
it's
Christmas time.
sensory overload because the fluorescent lighting is like blinding, and then like there's smells in there, and you're just like,
I have something to say real quick. This is the
Yeah.
first time I ever heard Joe curse.
Was is this a riddle? Is it like
No, I'm gonna keep going.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay,
is
the
this
There's
story
serious?
more.
has
There's more.
this the story has become an internet sensation with fans spreading on wikis, YouTube, TikTok, and even Google Maps, where backrooms have been found with certain coordinates. Horror videos of many creatures that inhabit the backrooms have also become popular. A24 has announced a movie based on one of the prominent YouTube creators' YouTube videos. So, guys, what have you got? First of all, have you guys ever heard of the backrooms? Jared,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure
Jared
if what
has
you
Uh,
even
one.
said was just English or not. Just sound like a bunch of gibberish, and then there are clickers, and there's clips and clipping in back rooms. It sounded like we're like,
Well, Jared, do you want to explain it for him?
is it a reference to a
the first
simulation? Is that what's going
the
on here?
first time I knew about it was from the original creator, or one of the the guys that made a video of it um on YouTube. It was suggested because it was like blowing up on everything, and it was pretty cool. Liminal spaces are spaces that are just normal, kind of like malls or just public places. It can even be like houses, but there's no one there, and it's something seems off. Um, it's actually pretty creepy. Like that kind of hits on some fears I have of just being alone because I don't like that. But it's just public places usually.
Yeah, if you've seen the show, Michael, I know you've seen it, Severance.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot like that, where it's just like big empty office space the
Hmm.
whole time.
Where
Yeah,
there's where there's like should be activity, but it's just barren.
something similar, but something's off as well. It's kind of like Uncanny Valley, but for places instead
Yeah.
of like image like things, I guess. Um, so I watched that original video and I was like, oh man, that's pretty cool. I even showed Jonah and he was like, yeah, that is pretty neat. And then it like blew up. Like Wendigoon started talking about it, and I think even MadPat did a video. Super Eye Patch Wolf, people like that. Everyone's done a video on it by now. It started off really cool. Like I just now found out that there's actually different creatures than the original video. Like there's like this whole SCP kind of thing now. But it's pretty cool. I like it. And then I recently, not too long ago, I didn't know it started on Google Maps, where if you punch in certain coordinates and you like zoom in, you eventually go into the back rooms.
Yeah,
So
so in the Google Maps one, it's first you just see like a giant hole,
yeah,
then you gotta like zoom into it, and then there's like this office space for some
and then
reason.
there's yellow like wallpaper and stuff like that.
So Thomas, what is your experience with the backrooms?
Well, Jared can attest to this because we used to work in the AV field, and we did a lot of um work in like convention centers and hotels and stuff like that. And basically, it's kind of like what the back rooms is like uh, a lot of space that should have people in it, but it doesn't have people in it. Um, and like empty hotel like venues and stuff like that have just this large amount of space that's just completely vacant. Like there should be things there, but there's not.
Yeah.
Especially that yellow, like the distinctive back rooms one. There's a few hotels in Dallas where I know kind of have that same look. And I remember like doing strikes and stuff like late at night, and like you were the only person in that part of the hotel striking equipment, and there's nothing else around you, and it's very eerie and creepy. And uh when I was like watching those videos, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly how that feels back there. That is creepy as it all get out. And
I
yeah,
think,
like I'll go for
I
it.
think Joseph and I have been, and Jonah have been to like several like mini malls that are abandoned. and
Yeah.
it's kind
I
of
was
feels
gonna
like
say
that.
I was gonna say like storefronts like in malls that have been like closed down. Have you seen those videos too? Like those walkthroughs,
Mm.
like urban explorers or whatever.
Yeah.
That's kind of the same premise.
I went to this, it wasn't very big, so it wasn't kind of like this, but I went to this old like fish hatchery that was empty, and that was pretty creepy inside there. But
Why are we at a fish hatchery?
it was
Joseph?
there, so I was like, oh, check this out.
But yeah, like Jared was saying, like everybody's done a video on this. I've watched like a ton of like creepy pastas and SBC videos. I mean, it's like a genre now. Backrooms is like a genre.
Mhm.
I mean, we're
Um,
doing something on it.
Yeah, exactly. Nexpo has a really good one about that, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I love Nexpo.
I love Nexpo. His stuff is so good.
I'm
But yeah,
surprised Michael hasn't even like heard of this. Like,
I
you haven't
know
heard
this,
any.
this is like a pretty
Uh,
popular.
Is this any clearer to you, Michael? Now that we've talked about
Absolutely not. This
Okay,
just
Me-
sounds
me-
like you're
me-
like being
me and-
spooked out when you're in a place that's abandoned. Like,
that's kind of what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just like some guy's like, I'm gonna rename that and make it my thing, and then I'm gonna get popular off of it. That's what this sounds like.
Well,
so no clipping actually comes from video games.
Yeah.
It's where you
you phase out from the level.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be like underneath.
so
the
you
level.
hack it so you can get into places that you're not supposed to be into in the games. So they're just saying you can do this in reality somehow. It's just like
Michael, have you ever clipped out of a map of a game?
Yes,
There you go.
There you go. But in real life.
but that's not what people were saying they did.
no.
Well, that's
In
how it
real life.
starts.
That's
They
the,
never
that's,
explain how you know clip. They just say you got to do
yeah.
it.
That's the explanation of finding yourself. in the
Here's the
back
explanation.
rooms.
They see a door that says authorized personnel only, and then they go through it. That's what happens. I know.
Well,
Cliff.
it-
Yeah, no, there's like some videos like that where
Yeah.
there's like a door and they like walk through like I shouldn't be here, and they try to
They-
walk out.
I think they based it off a video, not too or back when they first started, where there was a car that was driving on a highway, and it's steady cam. It's like live cam, and then the car just disappears, and they said
Oh,
that was
yeah,
like
I've
no
seen
clipping.
I've seen that. That's
I-
crazy.
I did see where was it us that was talking about the car that hit the pole and then the pole was in the car. Yeah, that was I saw the picture. It was pretty easily. They just knocked the bottom. They broke the pole and then the pole fell through the top.
Oh right,
Well,
That was pretty-
Okay.
All
Okay.
right, all right.
I was like, that was easy.
Easy
But,
vampires.
Oh,
there's like a ton of
vampires.
videos that you can like just look up. Just like type in backrooms on YouTube, and there's like a ton of videos.
Fine.
Markiplier has a pretty good video game walkthrough. It's pretty funny.
Or you could just wait for the movie and then watch that.
There you go. I'll
It's
watch
true.
the
Yeah.
24 movie. Why didn't we make one if you guys are all into this?
Honestly, we
made-
could.
we
Dude, those-
We really could have.
I saw one with the creature was pretty creepy. He was like, the heck? All right, let's move on to our next urban legend, which might be the oldest urban legend. Okay. This is the story.
Well?
Okay,
all
the
about
story-
how
I'm
life
trying
got
to
turned
start
upside
this.
down.
The story of the Hookman has been the
Oh.
basis of films such as the Candyman series, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and even an episode of SpongeBob. The original legend began to spread during the hot rod era of the 1950s. It might have found a basis in the Texarkana Moonlight Murders. The Lovers Lanes murders took place in 1946 in Texarkana by an unknown serial killer who murdered 5 victims and became the basis of a classic movie of his own. The Hookman story was first published in a Dear Abby column, in which the writer claims to have heard a story about 2 teenagers one night during a makeout session, hearing on the radio that an escaped convict was on the loose. Frightened, the 2 lovers raced home and upon arrival discovered a hook hanging from the door handle. And that is the Hookman. So, Michael, have you heard of this one?
I've heard of the Hookman, but I didn't know anything about it.
I was gonna be very surprised. Like, nah, I haven't heard of that. It's like, what?
Like, I've heard the name, and, seen like the references and pop culture of it and everything, but
You've
No- no
definitely
idea about it.
heard of the hash slinging slasher.
definitely.
Yeah, so I think we should definitely revisit this case because it's a kind of interesting case. The one I mentioned about Texarkana. And it was
Wasn't that like part of like the Chainsaw Massacre too? Just like in that same vein.
the movie's called it's got a long title. It's like The Town That Was Afraid to Go to Sleep at Night or something like that.
something like that.
Yeah. It's supposed to be a classic. I've never seen it. But Jared, what is your opinions on the Hookman?
I actually just watched a video all about that case.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
No big deal.
I don't really have much to say about it, but did you say this was the first urban legend?
Yeah, it's one of the first ones.
Is
That
the
because there's like old wives' tales and like myths,
does-
but this is like the one where it first crossed over to like urban legend.
Like true urbanization.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, doesn't the Jersey Devil like predate this?
Yeah. But that was kind of like a old wives'
folk
tale.
folk tale
Yeah,
type
folk
thing.
tale.
Oh, now we're
type.
just getting granular.
You gotta get
But there's
specific with your
genres.
urban.
Got specific genres, Jared. Yeah.
All right, that's all I have to say about the hook, man.
Well, what's the weirdest thing ever left on your car? I
have one.
Oh, okay, go ahead. You go first.
One time, me and Carlos were going to the gym, and we're going into my car, and there was a little plastic dinosaur on my windshield,
Oh,
and I was like, "The
sweet.
heck?"
I actually had something very similar to that. I forget where we were. And I know who did it too, because there's these like rambunctious dumb teens at this place we were at, and they were like, "Is that some like where you get like, I don't, like a copper caboose kind of place where there's a bunch of random junk and everything?" And it was like it wasn't a dinosaur, but it was a little plastic something, and they like stuck it in my side mirror gap, like just jammed it in there. I was like, "You stupid little
Oh, man.
brats!" They'd are driven off.
We can
Okay.
start an urban legend of these people.
I know.
All I got was a
Plastic
2 for
leaving brats.
all I got was a 2-for-1 stripper pass on my car.
There
So
you go.
Yeah.
In
And a parking
Lubbock,
ticket.
Yeah.
yeah.
one time I opened my car and there was a water bottle in there that was not my brand, and there was everything was like kind of messed up, but nothing was
Not-
stolen.
not
was
my
so
brand.
confused.
I don't drink this garbage.
I don't drink this.
Maybe someone was having a
What's this,
heavy
not-
makeout session.
Not
in your car.
Fiji
I
water.
think so, and they needed water
Yeah.
after their makeout session.
Getting dry.
All right. So our last urban legend involves a superstar. In 1981, Phil Collins released the classic "In the Air Tonight." Along with the legendary drum fill, a legend has been spread about the meaning of the song. The story goes that a man was drowning while another man was close enough to save him, but did nothing. This was witnessed by the singer. During a concert, Phil Collins recognized the guilty man and sang the lyrics directly to the man.
Mm.
Phil Collins has stated that the story is false and that the song came out of his anger from his divorce he was going through at the time. It hasn't stopped the legend from spreading, though, and even being referenced in a song by Eminem. So, what do you guys think about "In the Air Tonight"? Have you heard about this one, Jared?
Yeah. He tells a different story like every decade.
Who, Phil
At first,
Collins?
at first it was he saw somebody, and then like the next decade he's like, "Oh no, that's not true." And then like most recently, he's like, I was about a divorce or something like that.
Now he's gonna be like,
I'm
I didn't
like-
write that song.
And I'm like, come on, Phil, get your story straight.
It was Phil Bailey the whole time.
Oh God.
Thomas, what do you think of this story?
I have to consult my dad because he's the Phil Collins like super fan. Like, what do you think, Dad? Were you there that night too?
Were you the man?
Were you the man drowning the other man?
You walk into his room, there's just a wall of like spider web, and he's like, I'm almost there.
I'm 40 years of listening to Phil Collins, and I've almost cracked the code.
Michael, have you ever seen a man drown?
Have I ever seen a man drown? Just
Yeah.
in TV.
That's a different question, Joseph.
What? How can we incriminate Michael? What have you seen?
You can't catch me on anything, I promise you.
You like a movie about gladiators? Ever see a grown man naked?
All right, so that was our 3 urban legends for this time. We're gonna have more of these to come, so look out for those. If you like this video, subscribe, like, and get some notification for that's more good stuff. Our YouTube channel, and then you'll get even more weird stuff next time. All right, guys, see ya.